In 1896, a gravedigger in Germany was stunned to hear noises coming from inside a freshly sealed coffin. Upon opening it, he found a man still alive, gasping for air, but conscious. Rare and disturbing cases like this raise a question that stirs the imagination. What really happens to the human body when someone is buried alive? In this video, you'll discover the physical and mental reactions that arise in such an extreme situation, from the first moments to the inevitable collapse that leads to death. As soon as the lid is closed and the earth covers the coffin, the first experience is absolute darkness and a lack of space. The brain, deprived of visual or auditory cues, reacts with immediate panic. The heart races, breathing becomes labored, and the perception of time becomes distorted. The interior of a coffin is tiny. There's barely room to move arms or legs. Any attempt to shift only increases oxygen consumption, hastening the end. Here's the critical detail. A sealed coffin contains, on average, 1,000 to 1,500 liters of air. That might seem sufficient, but in a state of desperation, a person consumes oxygen at an astonishing rate, reducing survival time to less than an hour. Even before the lack of air becomes fatal, the high concentration of carbon dioxide causes dizziness, confusion, and a sensation of suffocation. At this point, the struggle is not only against the scarcity of oxygen, but also against the anxiety that accelerates the entire process. As oxygen levels drop, the body enters a critical state. Cells, without their essential fuel, begin to accumulate lactic acid, resulting in muscle pain, cramps, and a burning sensation within. The buildup of carbon dioxide is even more dangerous. It tricks the brain. The person breathes, but the inhaled air fails to meet the body's vital needs. This condition, known as hypercapnia, causes excruciating headaches, blurred vision, and mental confusion. Within 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the coffin's size and the victim's physical condition, movements become uncoordinated, and consciousness begins to fade. The brain, starved of oxygen, shuts down in stages. Small seizures may occur before complete unconsciousness sets in. From a medical perspective, death results from hypoxic asphyxiation. The heart may still beat for a few moments, but soon stops due to the lack of oxygen. The entire process rarely lasts more than 2 hours. The fear of being buried alive was very real in past centuries. During the 18th and 19th centuries, it wasn't uncommon to find coffins with scratch marks on the inside. This happened because medical diagnoses were often unreliable, and conditions like catalepsy or deep comas could be mistaken for death. This collective fear gave rise to peculiar inventions, such as safety coffins. Some were equipped with bells attached to ropes tied to the body, allowing the supposed deceased to signal if they awoke. Others had ventilation tubes or small signaling mechanisms that would appear on the surface at the slightest movement. In 19th century Germany, there were even so-called houses of the dead, refrigerated rooms where bodies were kept for a few days before burial to avoid fatal mistakes. These measures, though ingenious, reflected how the dread of premature burial shaped the medicine and culture of the time. This fear only subsided in the 20th century with stricter criteria for determining death, such as checking brain activity. Even so, the mere thought of waking up inside a coffin remains one of the most unsettling images in the human mind. Being buried alive is a topic that intertwines biology, history, and collective imagination. Physiologically, death is swift: lack of oxygen, excess CO2, and organ failure. Historically, it sparked bizarre inventions to prevent tragedies. And in the imagination, it remains one of the worst nightmares possible. Thanks to advances in medicine, accidental burials are almost non-existent today. Still, the topic continues to inspire writers, filmmakers, and curious minds who wonder, what if this happened to me? If this video gave you a new perspective, subscribe to the channel and follow more content about the limits of the human body and science. And let us know in the comments, which detail shocked you the most?